Why do so many vegetarians struggle with their weight? Two of my best friends are vegetarians. One actually controls his weight ideally. He has great muscle tone, low body fat levels, whereas my other friend is always overweight, always complaining about his weight. And he feels like he's healthy because he's eating a vegetarian diet, but he never seems to get his weight under control. So in this video, I want to compare their two diets for you, and then I'll give you my opinion on what you should do if you're a vegetarian to maintain good, like low body fat levels while getting good, proper nutrition within your diet. So let's talk about my first friend. My first friend, he seems to always be hungry, eats a lot of vegetables. He tries to get his complete protein with things like rice and beans. So in my opinion, to get enough protein on a vegetarian diet, if you're not supplementing your diet with supplements like we're going to talk about later in the video, you have to eat a tremendous amount of calories to take in an adequate amount of protein. Okay, so let's go over like protein requirements first. In my opinion, especially if you're working out, if you're fit, if you want good muscle tone, I think you should eat about 0.9 grams of protein per pound of lean body weight. So for example, let's say you're 150 pounds, you're like 20% body fat. You want to eat like 110, 115, 120 grams of protein every single day. And my recommendation is probably more than say what the FDA would recommend. The FDA would recommend something like 0.9 grams per kilogram of body weight. So maybe a third or half the amount of protein that I would recommend. But when you start looking at the new studies, and if you're working out and you're active, I think a lot of the new studies are leaning towards more protein. And in my opinion, you definitely need the protein. See, the good thing about animal protein, and I understand you don't want to eat animal protein, but one of the advantages of animal protein is you can take in a lot of protein without consuming too many calories. But if you're a vegetarian, or say you're even a vegan, you're going to have to eat like a lot of rice and beans, a high caloric type meal to take in enough complete protein. So maybe eating like quinoa, eating a lot of grains, just eating, hey, there is protein obviously in all different types of vegetables like broccoli, but you have to eat a tremendous amount of rice and beans and quinoa and really up your calories to take in 115, 120 grams of protein. And that's why I think the big problem is with my first friend who's always overweight. First of all, I think he's protein deficient because he's not taking any protein supplements. Secondly, he always has to overeat just to get a reasonable, like even a reasonable low amount of protein. And another thing I feel that if you're always, say, protein deficient, you're always going to be hungry. In my opinion, you're never going to feel right. Even Sean Stevenson talks about this in his new book, Eat Smarter, which is a wonderful book. I'm listening to it now in audio. I listened to it once already. I'm going to listen to it again. And he talks about if you're not getting enough vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, and I totally agree, you're always going to be hungry and you're never going to be satisfied. Okay? But now if you compare my first friend's diet to my second friend's diet, who's actually a vegan, so no animal protein at all, no eggs, nothing like that, who's actually at an ideal weight and has good muscle tone, what he does, and I actually recommended that he do this, is that he supplements his diet with protein powders. And the two protein powders he uses, which I recommend, are hemp seed, which are a complete protein. For example, you can have like 4 small scoops of hemp seed protein powder and get 15, 20 grams of protein, complete protein. And he also supplements his diet with pea protein as well, which is also a complete protein. So for example, say he's coming to my gym for a workout. Right before his workout, he may do like 4 scoops of hemp seed protein powder, get 15, 20 grams of protein, maybe another scoop of pea protein, get 25 grams of protein. He may mix it into a vegetable drink, which I like to do too, which is like a celery juice type drink right before the workout. And he might do the same thing right after a resistance training workout and get 50 grams of protein right there with a minimal amount of calories. And then he'll pick up another 50, 60, 70 grams of protein from doing the typical things that a normal vegetarian might be doing, like through rice and beans, through vegetables, through quinoa. But when you look at the calories between my first friend, who's really overweight as a vegetarian, compared to my second friend, who supplements his diet with hemp seed and pea protein, he's probably consuming 5, 6, 7, 800 less calories a day while also taking in more protein. See, protein, in my opinion, is the most important macronutrient. You know, the macronutrients are protein, fats, carbohydrates for multiple reasons. First of all, protein, you know, you need to eat essential amino acids. You need that, you know, these are the amino acids that your body can't make. You need to eat them within your diet. That's why vegetarians have to eat complete protein. Secondly, protein has the highest thermic effect of all the other macronutrients, meaning that when you eat 100 calories of protein, it creates heat in your body. Just digesting and processing the protein, you can burn 20, 30% of those calories. So if you're eating 100 calories of, say, hemp seed protein, you might burn up 20, 30 calories just digesting and processing the protein, which is really incredible. So in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes vegetarians make is that they try to overeat themselves, eat too many calories to take in enough protein. So the takeaway from this video is you really have to supplement your diet, especially if you're working out, especially if you're exercising, with some type of, I think, protein powder. And my two favorites are pea protein and hemp seed protein. You know, give it a try. Like I recently, about a year ago also, now that I'm making this video, another client comes to mind. This is a woman who was working out like crazy. She was a vegetarian. She actually had breast cancer, so she didn't want to eat meat, nothing like that. She's recovered. She's doing wonderful. But she felt like she had like low muscle tone, you know, she was a little bit overweight. And when I analyzed the diet, she was taking in like no protein. She was eating a little bit of rice and beans, like I guess some sweet potatoes, a teeny bit of quinoa. I had her at like 20, 25 grams of protein, which is nowhere near enough. She was like 135 pounds. She needed more protein. We gave her some hemp seed protein powder, and it took time. Within about 3 to 4 months, you instantly saw the difference in her. You know, her body fat went down, her muscle tone, her muscle mass went up. So give it a try. If you're a vegetarian, try some hemp seed protein powder and also try some pea protein powder. Now, if you're looking for other ways to lower your body fat levels, if you're a vegetarian, why don't you consider intermittent fasting? I have a whole bunch of videos about intermittent fasting on my channel. I think it's an amazing way to lower your body fat levels and improve your health. Check out this video. It's all about intermittent fasting. I think you'll find it really helpful.